is and what causes abuse in families and relationships?
Oh, that's a really big question. Abuse in any form is basically this. The underlying reason for abuse is two things. First of all, it's disrespectful. I mean, it's not showing respect for your partner. A healthy relationship is based on mutual respect of each other's differences, individualities, and personal choices. And that has to exist in order for a healthy relationship to exist. When you get abuse going on in a relationship, you have issues of control. The person who is being abusive wants to control your behavior, your thoughts, your actions. And that's how it starts. It can escalate. And it starts that way. But on the other end of things, the person who's being abused is also accepting that behavior at themselves. So that means you have a little bit of disrespect for yourself going into it. And that can happen for many different reasons. You've always been told what to do, so you figure, okay, I have to keep on being told what to do, because that's what love is. That's not what love is. But that's, you know, especially if you're young, you're used to doing what you're told by your parents, because your parents know what's right for you, and they want what's best for you. And that's different. But when your partner starts telling you what's right for you, you're supposed to have a mutual relationship based on mutual trust and respect. When somebody starts telling you what to do, how to think, how to feel, how to act, that's control. And you can launch into this by thinking, okay, well, I have to do what I'm told because that's what love is, and I want this to work, so I'm going to, you know, do the things to make him happy. And that's all very well and good, but you start accepting the small little things, and it can escalate and escalate and escalate, and it can get worse and worse and worse until one day you wake up and he's beating you up, and you have no idea how you got there. So it's the little tiny things, and you have to really be thinking about this from the start, for yourself and also for your partner, because you can, you know, nobody wants to go into a relationship thinking that I'm going to eventually beat up my wife, you know, unless they're really sick. But, you know, you start accepting those little things, they start being given permission to do those things to you, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So if at the onset you can say, no, I'm not accepting that, that's disrespectful, we have to learn how to have a healthy relationship where it's over. And he can also learn how to have a healthy relationship. Maybe he's been modeling his behavior after his parents, who were in an unhealthy relationship to begin with. So it's the little tiny things. And if you look on our website, there's a whole list, a very long list of what is abuse. And it ranges from emotional, mental, financial, to physical, all sorts of abusive behavior. So abuse is really basically, bottom line, disrespectful, disrespecting you as an individual and trying to control your behaviors.
So it's like a cycle?
It's a cycle. It's a cycle, and then the cycle will happen where he can be very, very abusive to his spouse. And then something blows up where there is some physical violence or some really angry stuff going on. And then he feels remorse. He doesn't really want to do this. He feels remorseful, and he promises it'll never happen again. And you go through this sort of honeymoon period again. And some people get hooked on that honeymoon period. So it's okay, you put up with the abuse because you know that honeymoon period is coming. So that it builds up, builds up, builds up until it erupts into something crazy. And then you go back to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, and the flowers, and going out for dinner, and you know, holding each other and crying. But then you go back to it again. And that is a very unhealthy, unproductive cycle. You get caught in this loop, and you never progress. As individuals, you never progress to move forward with your lives, to become as best you can be.
So are most abusers, have they been abused before?
There's many different things. Certainly, the statistics show that if children are raised in an abusive environment in the home, they grow up to be in abusive relationships, either reciprocal or the person being the abusive person.